Welcome to the Legacy Crusaders blog. This is Benji's blog. Anyways, today I'm looking at the ban list. It's been a while since the last post, but that's because I came off of a summer break. I'm going to be working more regularly and keeping up with content is going to be difficult. Anyways, the channel is now at 1,224 subscribers. I probably haven't posted a video here in about 2 weeks. Been only posting like the beginner's guide on the channel. So let's take a look at today's ban list. The ban list came out like yesterday, or goes into effect on Monday. So let's take a look just to discuss my thoughts on the ban list. Samsara Lotus was forbidden, which is a burn card with an infinite loop that does not require firewall, so that one needs to be hit. Nightmare Goblin makes it so Ibli will not be normal summoned with an additional normal to make the board easily for the Goki board, although it also affects a couple other decks, but not that much. I think it was played slightly in, what's that stuff called? Mech Knight Invoked to get an extra normal summon for Alistair sometimes, not that important. It would also be played in Trickstars to get an extra normal summon for Candina, but generally this card didn't do that much in many decks for much stuff. But at the very least, the Goki board is now targetable, which is nice. Forbidden now, MX Saber Invoker, so you can't make Invoker with any like 2 random level 3 monsters. You actually have to go into Isolde to make the U board with Goki, so that's good. A Assault Core went to 1 so that Firewall may live. I disagree with that entirely. The exact same play can be done with Shadow Priestess of Ohm and Dark Worlds, so it literally was a pointless hit. It literally ruins ABC for no reason. Although there was a 3-card combo for an FTK using Firewall, whereas the Dark World, Danger, Shadow Priestess at least required some random plays, and it did also have the ability to extra link with Goblin, so I guess technically it was slightly hit. We have Elemental Hero Stratos to 1. I'm not fully familiar with all the crazy combos you can do at Stratos. I know there were a lot of FTKs with just like a hero lives with Danglong and prior ban lists in the OCG, but I don't know how well that's going to transfer over here. We've got 1 copy of Morphing Jar, which will probably be played in burn decks as an additional card to set as a monster. Let them draw 5 cards after burning through all their cards. It might be played in some trap decks, maybe Paleozoic, I don't know. Another monster to set. Maybe you could play it in True Draco as an additional card to play along with your card of Demise. Don't think it's going to do much. Electromite is at 1, so Pendulums are going to just use it to open zones so their first turn play can be slightly better. I guess that's about all that's going to do. I've seen Steven Trifanowski, the Triff Gaming, is recommending that everyone do a bunch of 1-for-1 1-card pendulum trades with things like, what's that thing called? Mythical Beast Cerberus and Jackal. And Cerberus gets Jackal. So you get Jackal, so you have negations with that, along with the level 7 Magician Pendulum monster, Genki. Stuff like that, those kinds of negates, and you can make a bunch of rank 4s as well. Exciton Knight goes to 1. I think there's a lot more stops for Exciton now. Between strikes and impermanences, it's less of a problem. I think it's okay. It's kind of nice. I like the idea of more recovery cards being in the game. If you fall behind, a way to recover. I always thought Soul Charge was like the only real recovery card in the game, where if you're losing and you top deck Soul Charge, you can make a board and wipe out your opponent's board, but you couldn't win, whereas Exciton is similar. So more cards like that I'm okay with. A hero lives to 1. I guess there might be some hero combos that are crazy, and maybe now it's a Saki. Card destruction to 1 is interesting. It's obviously meant to help Dangers. We don't know what their support will be in Soul Fusion, so can't really say how much that's going to matter. Every deck can play card destruction. I don't know how much I'd want to play it. I mean, on turn 1, if you play it, you're just giving your opponent 5 free cards. They get to set up their graveyard potentially, and you go neg-1 in your hand, so it's not that great. Not sure how I feel about it. Don't think I'd play it, even in Infernoids. I'm not even going to play it. Sky Striker Hornet Drones to 1 was an expected hit. Super Poly to 1 is interesting. I'm not sure that the generic fusions that you can fuse using your opponent's monsters on the board are that relevant at the moment. I know the new Mud Dragon thing came out in the Megatins, which might be played. but they vary in what fusions there are. I guess you could play some Shadal monster fusions, or not sure what else you would play. Moving in past the limited section, we go to the semi-limits. Cosmo Dark Destroyer 2. From what I saw earlier, Cosmos can't handle Altergeist, so I'm not sure it'll be a played deck. That was just playing at locals. Called by the Graves at 2. I don't see the point. I mean, the point of this card is to make it so you have stops to hand traps when you're going first against your opponent who's stopping you while you're going second. I guess it does more than that, but now hand traps can just run wild again, and can take a format where there's just more and more hand traps until people give up on them. I'm not a fan of this hit, although the fact that this card is being played at 3 in a lot of decks, tends to lead to its limitations. If you're playing 3 of it in every deck, then it's occupying a slot. Like, part of how Yu-Gi-Oh! Has changed in the last, 10 years is that every deck tends to be different for the most part. There isn't that much overlap, although these generic link monsters have made the extra decks very similar to lots of decks. Limiter removal to 2 is interesting. I don't think it's going to do much. I've seen it played in Sky Strikers before, because you get your monsters killed. Well, you it pushes for damage and it's a spell card, and then you just link into Shizuku after you've attacked, so it's not awful there. Scapegoat to 2, who cares? Terraforming to 2 doesn't really matter. Towers to 3 doesn't matter, because Towers isn't being played, because I guess it's hard to play Klee now when you're not filling the board with 5 floodgates. You can only do 3 now. Disc Commander 3 doesn't matter because of his errata. Burial from a different dimension is an interesting one. I wish Omega wasn't hit. I think I skipped Omega. Omega got hit to 1. But with Burial at 3, I would definitely be playing Necroface and Gold Sark to banish all my zombies and then put them back in the graveyard with Burial. Although, without the ability to make Omegas, I don't really want to do that. Although I am going to be trying Burial from a different dimension at 3, along with Slash Draw in my Infernoid deck, so that should be cool. And then Ring of Destruction went to 3, and that'll help burn decks, I guess, because it has some strict limitations on it nowadays. Anyways, that's my little ban list rant. I guess the best deck will be Altergeist, because it's completely unaffected by the ban list. Pendulum seems fine as a playable deck. Goki seems fine as a playable deck. Pretty much everything is still playable, so nothing's really changed. Just that nothing is going to be as broken as they were. Every deck was overmatching all the older decks, so hopefully it just means my Infernoids will play better. Anyways, see you guys when something new comes up on the channel. Adios.